Look out, Substack. Facebook has entered the arena with its own competing newsletter product called Bulletin. Julia Borston has the details. Hey, JB.
Hey, Carl. Like Substack, Bulletin is a way for writers to distribute free or paid newsletters to connect with and grow their fans. Now, what's interesting here is that Bulletin is built on a separate platform. It's on its own website, which will circumvent needing to pay a cut to Apple or Google of those subscription fees. Now, Facebook tells us it will explore an ad-supported model at some later point. And while you don't need a Facebook account to subscribe to these newsletters, the content will be integrated into Facebook features like subscriber-only groups as well as audio rooms. So the service is starting with a dozen featured writers, including Malcolm Gladwell and sports reporter Aaron Andrews, as well as CNBC contributor Jane Wells. Now, Facebook recruited and is paying these writers for multi-year deals. For now, all of their newsletters are free, though Facebook tells us that many more newsletters are coming, and some of those will be behind a subscription paywall. Now, this is all part of Mark Zuckerberg's push to draw creators and their fans to Facebook's platforms. Guys, this is really about the land grab in the creator economy.
Wow, that's interesting. And speaking of platform competition, Julia, you got some fresh reporting on more voices weighing in on antitrust.
Yeah, that's right, Carl. So antitrust regulation is in part designed to prevent giants from squashing upstart competition. But the National Venture Capital Association is opposing proposed legislation, saying that these antitrust bills threaten economic growth and could tamp down on tamping down on tech giants' acquisitions of competitors, and that could harm innovation and, in fact, competition. Now, that's all because nearly 60% of startups say they expect to be acquired, according to a recent survey from Silicon Valley Bank. The numbers show selling is a much more likely outcome than an IPO. Last year, nearly 900 venture-backed companies were acquired compared to the roughly 100 that went public last year. So Battery Ventures partner Michael Brown tells us, quote, "It makes great headlines to go after the big companies and call them anti-competitive and try to stop acquisitions. But I think the knock-on effects to the broader entrepreneurial ecosystem is going to far outweigh the benefits of what they're trying to accomplish." So Brown also tells us that a lot of the CEOs in his portfolio don't want to run public companies. They understand how long and challenging that path is to get there. So, Carl, we'll have to see how these bills shake out and how much these bills could really restrict acquisitions of smaller rivals.
Yeah. No, John, I want you to weigh in here, but I'm just looking at the tape right now. There's a story crossing, speaking of all of this, that Amazon has filed a petition to have Lina Khan recuse herself in light of her repeated criticisms of the company. This is going to get more interesting.
Yeah, certainly going to get more interesting.
It certainly will. And Julia, combining Carl's thought there, certainly respond to that. I'm trying to put these two things together, the Facebook newsletters and the antitrust thing. I mean, yeah, Facebook is saying we're not charging creators on this, and so that's a good thing, trying to position themselves versus Apple. But couldn't Substack come right back and say, well, that's predatory pricing, Facebook. Look how big you are with access to all of these consumers.
Well, Substack could say that, but then also you have to remember that Facebook is in this battle with Apple. Facebook saying that, look, we are at the whim of Apple. They're doing things like charging these fees, and they're also restricting the way we can target ads. That's bad for small businesses. So I think all of these things are going to interplay here, and Facebook is really trying to align itself with small businesses and with creators who are, in a way, a different type of small business, trying to show that they're offering them ways to make money and trying to put itself in opposition to Apple, which it says is preventing small businesses from being able to target ads effectively enough to make money. But yes, it'll be really interesting to see how this all shakes out with Substack, which is, of course, an example of one of the smaller rivals that antitrust regulation might want to protect.
Right. As for the Venture Capital Association, Julia, obviously, I mean, their opposition to these kinds of bills makes sense. But I'm trying to think, we haven't really seen any evidence that they would start to close their wallet because of the threat of these things on Capitol Hill, right?
Well, I was talking to some sources just the other day who said they believe that it's already starting to limit these bills and the antitrust sort of crackdown, this perception that there's a lot of scrutiny right now is already starting to limit the types and number of acquisitions that Facebook and the other tech giants are making. You know, Facebook and some other companies like it have traditionally done a lot of acqui-hires, buying up smaller companies, both for the talent and also for the technology. And even though Facebook has continued to make some acquisitions, there is a sense that if these bills continue to move forward, and a lot of them really target their ability, Facebook's ability and these other tech giants' ability to buy up smaller rivals, that could really put a very big chill on the M&A landscape here.